That's how you say good morning in Tagalog for those who are Filipinos. Naim Bagna, yeah, and that's Ilocano. Maayong buntag kaiksonan. That's Bisaya. Anyways, good morning from the Philippines. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my page. Just welcome you guys back. It's been a while. Actually, I just checked and I found out that my last weekly mission report was December last year. So it's almost 10 months that we have not had any of these reports, mainly because I'm not flying anymore. I have some beautiful lineups for you. This week was power packed. Various things happened, and I got the opportunity to do a lot of driving and about 4 mission flying. Again, if you like these videos, please give a thumbs up. Leave a comment below to let me know how you are being blessed by these videos, where you're watching from, etc. And subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my page. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to see some amazing shots of my various routines, etc. And please invite your family and friends to follow you as you follow me and share the content with them so that they too can receive a blessing. Before we get into the report, I want to make a few announcements with you guys. I want to make a few announcements. First one is on September 25, I shared a sermon entitled Lord, Stop Embarrassing Me. And the feedback was very good in that a number of individuals reach out to me via private message, just sharing that the message really impacted them because that's what they are experiencing at this time. So I encourage you to go over to my YouTube channel, go over to my Facebook page, and you can take the time out to listen to this sermon for yourself. It will definitely help you spiritually and mentally, psychologically, emotionally, right? This message is guaranteed to lift your heart, especially in this pandemic. And when you have watched it and you're being blessed, please share it with others so they too can receive a blessing. In a few, like less than about an hour and 15 minutes from now, I'm going to be sharing another sermon. The title is What's Love Got to Do with It? It's going to be my second time to preach this sermon. The first one, Lord, Stop Embarrassing Me, that is a fresh sermon only preached on my Facebook Live and YouTube channel. This one will be my first time to do it live on social media, but I have preached it in an Adventist church before. I actually drove 15 hours, yep, from my home to the church. It was a 15-hour drive. I spent the weekend with them, and this was a sermon that I preached, and I was thinking I would love to share it with you guys as well. So after I finish this report, you'll have a couple minutes to check and do whatever else you have to do. And then you come back to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page and you can enjoy this message fresh. What's love got to do with it? Promises to blow your mind and enhance your spiritual walk with the Lord. Next announcement is progress. Yes, we are making progress on the design of the home. It has a story by itself, but in a nutshell, I just want to let you know that God has provided an engineer, professional engineer, which is a good friend of mine and brother from Jamaica, who he saw the little thing my wife put together on social media, and he saw the thing, took out his whole work thingy, and he put this together. This is the second draft. We're still fine tuning it, but it just gives you an idea of the layout of the missionary home that we are building, hoping to move into when the Lord provides. Another amazing story here that's unfolding is, as you all know, I have been assigned at a new area where I'm pioneering from the ground up, meaning there's no airplane, there's no hangar, there's no housing, right? Just nothing. And we are renting, which is an hour and a half from the airstrip that I'm going to be operating out of. So it's an hour and a half drive. And the Lord has been opening little avenues and doors so far with this pioneering work. One of them is this is an airplane that We're working out the details, so the minute details is to be worked out. But somehow God is somewhat leaning towards providing this airplane for us. It's gonna cost about 90, maybe 80, so $23,000 times three, right? That's what it's gonna cost. $23,000 times three because it's owned by multiple individuals, and each share is around 23,000 US dollars. I had the privilege of looking at it myself, and basically, this airplane it is new in that just got rebuilt. It has less than 10 hours on the engine. Yes, folks, less than 10 hours on the engine. New paint job. I mean, when I saw the airplane, I just fell in love with it immediately. I was like, I was telling the owners, if I had the money, I would just make you guys an offer right here, right now. But the donations are trickling in. And on that note, praise the Lord, so far we have God has provided 6,700 and something US dollars towards getting an airplane. We have something coming up, so you guys gonna just have to watch out for that. I'm gonna be coordinating some more with the owners to see how we can fine tune a contract together. We're working on that to be drafted up. Once we have those letters and everything on paper, formalized and concrete, we're gonna be letting you guys know how you can prayerfully partner with us, whether it be sharing the link, making a donation, or just praying. Whatever it's gonna be, we have some work to do, and you and I, we're gonna partner together to get this airplane so we can start helping individuals in this area. So those are the announcements for now, and we're gonna just go straight into our report for this week. The week started out very intensely. The plan was I'm going to go up to the air base that I was volunteering at, and I'm gonna show you guys what's the mission. The other pilots, I'm holding in my hand all the documents of the other missionary pilot and his wife. It's their passport, their marriage certificate, birth certificate. And here in the Philippines, you don't want to send these precious, important document with no courier. The only two option would be he would fly down with the airplane, but we're really trying to baby our new engine. We're watching the expenses of the ministry. So I volunteered myself to do the 8 hour drive to go to the airbase, pick up these precious documents for him to take it to the main city to hand to our contact who will be processing his missionary visa. So I fueled up. I have my plan ready. It's going to be 430 something kilometers, which is about an 8 hour drive. And I started on my way. I had everything all arranged. And as soon as I reach about 30, 40 minutes into the drive, I saw my indicator light came on saying my battery, there's a voltage issue. So I figured, oh man, this is an alternator problem. I confirmed that my volt has dropped to 12. So I said, oh, I think I just lost my alternator. Seconds later, I was doing about 100 kilometers an hour. I'm in the fast lane. This is early Sunday morning. Didn't have much traffic. Seconds later, after my light warning came on, I heard my belts just being torn apart. Then my brakes got hard, the steering got hard, and I knew at this point I have no belt left. All belt is completely gone because I could hear the thing, and I know how important those belts are and what controls they help to assist with, right? So the steering got hard because the power steering belt was destroyed, right? The brakes got hard because you don't have that brake fluid flowing anymore. So different things. I checked my mirror, I pulled over to the side, and then about a few minutes later, the emergency crew who usually, they have CCTV camera on the freeway. So they came and inquired what was happening. And I told them, they tried to have me like drive a little bit to get to the exit because, I was like, toll is going to cost me. If they told me, it's going to cost a whole lot. And then I started driving a little, but more warnings came on. So I said to them, sir, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to toll me because I don't have I don't want to ruin my engine. I see other lights coming on. I don't want to ruin it. So later on, the truck came, tow truck came, and they pulled me off just to the main exit, only to the main exit. There were some delays, so as as we were waiting for the other truck who's gonna tow me to go back home, I had the opportunity to share with them my missionary pilot journey. So I showed them the One Balita news because that's in Tagalog. So I showed that to them on my phone. And after watching that, their hearts were really melted in that they said, "Sir, we're going to find you the most affordable and the cheapest toll fee," right? Because as a foreigner, I'm not worried that they're going to charge me a whole lot of money to take me back to close to my home where I can find a mechanic that I know can help me. No, it's Sunday, and usually auto shops are closed on Sunday, right? Usually they're closed. So I had the privilege. We took a photo together just to make the friendship with them, etc. And they were really saying at one point, one of them said, "You know, your story has really touched our hearts. Thank you for what you're doing to help our fellow Filipinos here in the Philippines with your missionary work." This is a photo here of the belts, the new one. So we they told me later on, they told me to a mechanic shop, they got the belt, but then it had problems. One of the belt, because I didn't have a sample because it's all chewed up, I couldn't, they were having a hard time finding the correct belt. And so it's Sunday and time was going. I'm away from home and just stranded. My phone, I shared a post asking for prayers on Facebook. And you know what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you, the response was just mind blowing. I know a lot of times I post things and sometimes you guys will comment and react, but when trouble hit, you guys were there. And I'm gonna share with you what happened. Individuals were texting me asking how I'm doing. My phone was ringing off the hook. Private messages were coming in. And long story short, one individual, I would say he's a good Samaritan, he actually came. He came, he was way up somewhere else in the area. He drove down with his other friend. He came to where I was. He bought me food, water. He asked me what juice. He looked at the stuff. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna help you with your bill to help you get back on the road." And he said, you know, he we parted ways after the experience, and he let me know whatever else they said you're gonna need, just let me know. We got filters for the fuel because my fuel filter had gotten somewhat old now, and I had to change them as well. And just looking at the experience, I have read about the Good Samaritan story. I experienced the Good Samaritan story this Sunday of this week. This gentleman is not even a Seventh Day Adventist Christian, and that's why I connect him to the Good Samaritan story because um, God used someone who is not necessarily a Seventh Day Adventist to come to my rescue, and I was just overwhelmed at one point. I said, "Sir, I'm so shy, you know," but he went to the ends of the world to ensure that the vehicle was fixed and everything was taken care of and I could be on the road. I was smiling through the experience because I have been a missionary now for the last 10 years full time. I have never received salary or stipend for my missionary work. And my motto is do the work and God will supply the means. And I'm just smiling. I said, "Lord, I don't know why you would allow my vehicle to break, right? Just like this. It's costing so much money. Like the whole overall cost for everything to be fixed and towed, etc. It was about a little over 200 US dollars. And I was like, another expense just like that. But God provided individuals to donate to cover for all those expenses. And I was like, wow, Lord, you allow it to break and here you are sending people to help me to cover financially. Why should I be discouraged at this point? Then he allowed me to safely get off the freeway. So I'm thinking, why should I be discouraged in this situation when God is already fixing the problem? So I said, okay, Lord, you must have a plan. Guess what, guys? Monday, Monday, after getting the vehicle fixed, I got a phone call and five, six text messages asking me when am I coming up to the province at this airbase. I said I'm waiting for the patrol to be fixed and washed so that I can start my journey. He said we have a nephew where his mother is in the hospital now, about to give birth, and both of their mom and dad is in the hospital, and they don't have a watcher or babysitter for their 9-year-old son. Can I take him with me to the other missionary families in the province at the air base? And I said, oh, okay, now I know why the Lord delayed me from Sunday to Monday. This little guy here, he needed a ride. He needed a ride to get to the province. And so I said, Lord, no, I know. I know what, friends? Trials and hardship is easy to handle when we know why. But sometimes God doesn't tell us why immediately. He explains it later on. And that's why you have to watch the sermon. Lord, stop embarrassing me, because I covered those applications as well. Here's a family, very happy and excited to have their loved one with them. And we had a very good time together there with a meal, and they were so grateful because with this pandemic, it's hard for them to come down. There's no bus for them to commute down to get him and go back. And so it was so timely that the missionary patrol was down, then fixed. And I think God did that because this little boy, his family needed me to take him down. And I said, Lord, thank you for delays because it becomes a blessing. And it's my favorite Bible verse. And we know that all things work together for good to those that love the Lord and those who are called according to his purposes. Haven't flown in a while, but guess what? I made it up safely. And I look at the airplane, it has a new engine and everything. And I just took that little photo. I said, hey, just really blessed to be at the airbase as well. I did tell the my other missionary pilot brother. I said, "Hey, when I come for your documents, I'll spend a few days, and if any mission comes up, I would love to do those missions while I am there." So guess what? Phone started ringing, and of all the places, right, since we have gotten the engine, new engine for the airplane, we have not done any missions to Batanes, right? So I was like, wow, here comes Batanes with 4 mission requests in 2 days. Batanes had requests piling up, asking us to come to the rescue. And Batanes is somewhere that is very special and dear to my heart. A lot of amazing stories where I was featured in Washington Post and One Belita and different news, television, etc. It's usually the missions connected to Batanes. And so I remember I took off in the morning, and the weather had its challenges. The weather had its challenges. It's not thunderstorms, but the visibility and the cloud was enough to challenge any missionary pilot. And I prayerfully got up to Batanes. It was going to be a 407 nautical miles mission, right? And the mission was basically to transport a critical COVID patient. This patient is very critical. They're going to require 2 medical personnel on board, along with oxygen and a ventilator, right? And then they say he was incubated as well. When I look at him, I was really nervous for this mission because I said, Lord, flying can stretch the body a little bit with the pressure and altitude, etc. And I said, Lord, please don't have this patient die on the airplane. I've never experienced it. I don't want to experience it. So I remember I shared a post on Facebook. I said, the patient is critical. I need you guys to be praying with me. And he's 89 years old. I look at the bio, the info for the patient, and I said, 89 years old, fighting COVID, critical. This family is really fighting to keep their loved one alive. Because a lot of families at that age with COVID, a lot of families would have maybe just given up, accepted, okay, dad, we're gonna let you go now, etc. But this family was really fighting for their loved one. The suit itself was not easy to wear. It's my first time in this suit, and at one point when I got suit up and everything, I start sweating. And then I'm like, how do I breathe in this thing? But then I had to remember ministry takes you away from your comfort zone, and you just have to do it because that's what the Lord requires of me. I said, Lord, if Jesus was born in a place where they feed animals, very uncomfortable, who am I to complain about being in this suit that's just sweating my brains out, making it hard to breathe, etc. But I calmed myself down and I said, Lord, give me the strength. And He did. We got to our destination, we dropped him off, they sanitized the airplane, and there was another mission, right? There's another mission to Batanes. And so what I decided to do is instead of flying back home to base, why not stay at this airport, which is halfway between Batanes and base, which would save me almost 2 hour plus, right? And when you have a new engine and you know how much it is to babysit the thing and to preserve the hours to make it last as long as it can, I told my director, hey, I'm gonna camp out into Gigarao Airport, I mean city. Don't worry, I have a lot of friends and contacts there. They will take care of me. I brought some extra fuel with me, right? I brought some extra fuel. So after they sanitized the airplane, I refueled it up, secured it, and later on the pastor, which is Pastor Jesus, and also Manang Ludid, huh? No, Pastor Esther Jun. Yeah, Pastor Esther Jun came. He helped me out, and he took me to the church, the local Seventh Adventist church, close to the airport, and they fed me. You know what, guys? I left home before 7 o'clock in the morning, and I flew 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and I realized I only had like a fruit and a survival bar thingy. I couldn't eat. And I'm glad I didn't because the weather was really challenging. I went through heavy rain, IFR, IMC, fog, low visibility. The landing was challenging, etc. If I had food in my stomach, I know I would have puked. So I'm happy that the Lord kept me from eating so that I didn't have to vomit on anybody, during the flight. So they fed me, and I told them I was eating like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I told them, I said, this is my first meal of the day because I just couldn't eat. Then attached to that, I got a little comfort food. Yes, I had some durian, and I prayerfully charged all my gadgets and my cameras, etc., my phone. I got to check the weather. Everything looked good. And the next mission is going to be one that is going to be heart-rending for me. Has a story to tell. And what's happening is before I went up to the airbase, remember I keep telling you, this week the theme is God is just organizing everything and making it work together for my good. Before I went up to the airbase, I got a message from someone saying, Cap, I don't know if you remember me, but you transported me last year, April, with my son for chemotherapy. Cap, my son died. And now we're trying to organize ourselves to go home for the funeral. And I was like, oh, Lord. We never like those. We don't, we always like to hear, Cap, the patient lived, the patient is doing better now, the patient is stabilized, etc. But this time it was a sad story that the patient actually died. 3 years old, name is Kobe. We extend our condolences to the family. The weather improved. I really prayed for improvement of weather, but I knew it's gonna be a very challenging mission because it's a boy and it's a baby and it's a casket and the whole thing. So I remember I shared a post on my social media account, Facebook to be exact, asking just pray for emotional strength for me to be able to tune all of that out and remember my first priority is to fly the airplane. So we went up. There was another mission to come back, which is going to be another COVID patient, but this one is not critical. It's moderate, going to be on oxygen. And so I had to carry an oxygen tank with me with the casket, the mom and dad of Kobe. And I was on social media yesterday, and I found out that after I got training on this airplane last year, when I got training on the airplane, and the director signed me off to do solo mission, my very first mission by myself after training was Kobe. It was Batanes, and I remember you had a baby, grandma, and the mother. And I went up, I got them. And so, as I'm doing my feed this week, a relative in Tugigaraw City reached out to me, and I said to him, what date did I transport that person? He said April 11th. And I checked back my missionary pilot book here, right? So I journal it here. See, first medical flight with the 182, it was Batanes. It's Kobe. Kobe was my very first patient that I transported after getting training on that particular airplane. And again, we extend our condolences to the family. A lot of people started messaging me thanking for our services and etc. It was nice to see Batanes again. I'm learning little by little. When I landed, air traffic controller, Cap, welcome back to Batanes. Firefighters, just everyone, the nurses who came to pick up drop off the patient. Are you Cap David? Oh, I follow you on Facebook. I follow you on Instagram. Cap, welcome back to Batanes, etc. So the Batanes or the Ivatans and I, we have this bond, this relationship, and I hope that it will continue to grow. I miss you guys, and I know you guys miss me as well. So I just want to give a little shout out to all those who are from Batanes or the Ivatans to be exact. So it was the weather, as I said, was very okay. But every now and then, as I fly, I have to monitor the patients or the passengers just to double check that they're okay. Look at them. Are they breathing okay? Do they look like they need to vomit, etc.? And every time I look back, I could see the mom just lying like this on the coffin, and oftentimes she would fall asleep. Sometimes she's crying, etc. And when you're a missionary pilot who gets involved emotionally with the missions, you have to really pray for strength so you can focus. We muster a little smile together there together with the photo of Kobe, just as memories, so I'll always remember this family. Praise the Lord, we got in safely. We landed, the mission was successful. I dropped them off and I asked them for a official photo for my report. And then time to load up the COVID patient. So we had the oxygen and we strap it to the seat so that way it doesn't shift around. For future, I think I want to work on a way to really secure the oxygen. That's something that I have in the back of my mind whenever I get an airplane. I want to have it a little bit more secure. It's heavy, and I would not want this thing to move as much, and it needs to be fixed so that the patient can have their oxygen. So we loaded up again, and here am I with that, just the whole suit. It's hard to breathe. To my right, I don't have his face there, but on my right, the critical patient who needed two um, health professional on board in case he goes into a cardiac arrest, another one to monitor his vital signs, etc. I couldn't bring a family member with me on the first leg. So I asked him, wait until tomorrow. I have another mission, and on the return leg, I can take you with me. So he waited and he was able to be accommodated with me. And it was at that point I said, Lord, I wouldn't mind if we have a slightly bigger airplane because sometimes the missions, when the patient is lying down, the most I can bring is two individuals max. That's it. Cannot bring any more. Right. And so we always continue to pray for a bigger airplane. I got the missions done. It was 4 missions. I got it done. And it's Thursday. And I said, okay, Lord, I'm ready to go home. So I flew for 4 hours plus. And I said, in the evening, the traffic is not so bad. It's going to be another 400 something kilometers to get home. I'm ready to go home. So my pilot buddy gave me all his precious document, and I started my journey home. I had challenges. I got tired by 11:30. I started driving at 6 o'clock, and I got tired. I got tired and sleepy, and I have a particular area that is very safe. It's close to a gas station. There's a rest stop. So I said, once I can make it to that area, I will pull over and sleep. I got there 11:30, and I shut down, secured the vehicle, and I just dropped my seat back. I got some sleep, and I woke up around 3:30 in the morning, and I started driving again. And it took me about another 3 4 hours to get in. 8 o'clock, I arrived back home safely, and I said, "Oh man, I'm hungry. I'm tired of sleep. I need a shower." And I went to bed around 10 in the morning. And when I went to bed, guess what? I have to go again. I went to bed, and before I went to bed, a phone call came in, and I need to go get someone to the doctor so that they can catch their appointment. I was like, Lord, can I sleep? And as Jamaican, we say this, we put it this way: there is no rest for the wicked, and the righteous is never tired. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be wicked. I guess I'll try and be on the righteous side where I'm never tired. And so I said to Irene, okay, wake me up at 2 o'clock. Seeing the appointment is 3. Wake me up at 2 o'clock, and then I will rub the sleep out of my eyes. And I went there. It took me a couple hours to pick them up, pick up the patient, take to the hospital, wait outside, and then transport back home. Then deal with the heavy traffic on a Friday evening to get back home. And I said, Lord, I have a sermon to preach tomorrow. I have my flight report to do, etc. But you know what, beloved friends? I count all these things as joy and a blessing to be ready and willing to be a means of reaching out to others, whether it be flying or driving. So the week was just power packed, lot of activities, but throughout everything, I have clearly seen how God pieces all the puzzle together. In times when I was so confused and I didn't know, I mustered a smile. I said, Lord, I'm trusting you. And as the hours and the days go by, he just unfold what exactly he's doing and how he's making everything work together for my good, because I love him and I'm called according to his purposes. Now, I want to leave a promise text with you, right? It's from Matthew 25, verse 40. The Bible says, and I know it from memory, inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. So, whatever God uses me to do, it's not just me, it's your prayers, it's your support that keeps the patrol going, that keeps me financially stable to be able to renew my different license, keep my medical, eat healthily so I can be a safe driver and a safe missionary pilot. We have a lot more to accomplish, but you know what? We will continue to be faithful with the little missions that the Lord entrusts us for now. Again, I want to encourage you, send your prayer requests to me. If you have any prayer requests, this is my prayer journal. Every morning when I have my devotional, right, I will open it, I will go through, and I pray for you guys by name and by request. So if you would like to be added to my prayer journal, you can private message me your prayer request. If it's something that you're okay with the world knowing, you can comment it on this video, whether Facebook or YouTube. You can email your prayer request to me, flyingbyfaith2018 at gmail.com. Send me your prayer request and let me know. If you just want to reach out to me to give an encouraging thought, or you want to ask me any question, that's my email address. You have my social media account, etc. So that's pretty much it for this week. I don't know what's in store for next week, except I do know and I have an idea. Next week, I'm going to be helping out to get some supplies to the director who is finally coming back to the Philippines after a couple months. So look out for those vlogs, look out for those posts. I want to thank you guys so much. Just this week alone, guys, guess what? Just this week alone, having done 2 missions and share those experiences, my page got over 400 plus new followers. Yes, over 400 plus new followers came over to my page. Now they're following me and commenting, etc. And that's in connection to the missions done in Batanes. So all the Imatans, Thank you guys for sharing my post. Thank you for your love, your prayers, your support, and to all those who continue to donate to our ministry. If you like what we do and you would want to help partner with us to get the airplane, help build a hangar and a house, we have our website there, by his stripes ministries 1844.com. You can go over, you can be a monthly donor, you can have a one-time donation. It's up to you, right? Just go over to that website, make a prayerful donation to keep us going with the work. You can specify what exactly you want your donation to go towards, or you can leave it open as a general donation. Again, on behalf of Philippines Adventist Medical Aviation Services, we thank you for your prayers, we thank you for your support, and we look forward to sharing more with you of how God continues to provide the means as we humbly do the work. Mabuhay from the Philippines. Salamat po sa inyo lahat, which is thank you everyone, and peace out. See you next time.